Today on Judge Faith, a contractor confronts the homeowner who refuses to pay for her remodel.
They drink too much and they get a little bit paranoid. I've been doing this 35 years. It's not like this is a first rodeo.
As he walked away, he threatened to blow up our house. That's how mad he was.
How long were you working in her home?
Felt like forever.
Well, how long was it actually?
And later, exes with a side deal to lease a car come to court after a run-in with a repo man.
We dated for a couple years, off and on.
She was, in the church and everything.
We weren't on the same page.
Yeah, we were. Guess we weren't on the same
Spiritually,
page.
you were on a
Yeah,
different level, is what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were in the club and she was in church?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Patrick McDonald says the defendant kept running out of money when it came time to pay for the work. He's suing for payment on completed work. Defendant Anna Bean says she doesn't know because Patrick lied about having a valid contracting license, and he threatened to blow up her home. She's countersuing for work not completed.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of McDonald versus Bean.
Thank you, Juan. Patrick McDonald,
Yes, ma'am.
you were suing the defendant Anna Bean, ma'am?
Yes. Yes.
You were suing the defendant Anna Bean for $1,028 for payment on work you say you did in her home.
Yes.
Specifically, you're suing for 10 doors you say you installed into the defendant's home.
Yes.
And you're asking to be paid for that labor, which is $100 per door.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then you're countersuing for $5,000 because you say he did not complete the construction job he started in your home.
That's correct.
Okay, so we'll start with you, sir. Tell me, what do you do for a living?
I'm a general contractor.
And so you were hired by the defendant to do a job at her home?
Yes.
What was that job exactly?
The job was to remodel the kitchen, 2 bathrooms, living room door, take out a slider here, take out a door there, and just basically remodel most of the house.
Did you put it in writing?
Yes.
May I see
Yes,
that, please?
Oh, yes, please. Here's all the contracts for the entire project.
Why are there multiple contracts?
Because the first one had materials on it, and she thought I was trying to get extra money out of her for the materials, even though she was right there with me when we were going to buy them. So it got a little complex. So I just said, look, let's just do this labor only. You select the materials. We'll deliver them for free, but you go pick them.
Okay, and the final contract, $25,057.50 for
Yes, ma'am.
your labor, and that's an estimate.
Yes.
Right? Okay. And did she make these payments as she went along?
Yeah, she made
How long
progress
were you
payments.
working in her home?
Felt like forever.
It was
Okay.
forever.
Well, how long was it actually?
We went to July. We started, I think it's right around 2 months.
And why did it take longer than you anticipated?
Well, I'd asked to go pick materials, and they wouldn't get picked. It was a back and forth thing. Did you go select the materials? Well, no, we couldn't get to it yet.
What's your response to that? How come it took him so long to do the work in the home?
The people that were working for him, they actually would quit or he ran them off the job. The one contractor that he had working for him, he got upset because he had gone with me to help pick out some cabinets, and he just blew up. And he let him go right out there in our yard.
And what do you say he said to him?
He told him that he was to leave and you're not to go with her. And this man only did it out of the kindness of his heart. We just asked him and he said, okay.
Well, why did you ask him? Why did you ask him?
Because he was never around.
Okay. So what happened with this person who went to pick out cabinets with her? One of your workers?
He was bringing me some receipts, and I was going to reimburse him for the receipts. Then I find out he did go with her because they were trying to cut me out of the equation to take my workers. I'll pay you
there
cash.
was something going on.
We didn't
Work
pay
that
them
on.
anything.
So you think that she was trying to get a better deal with the people that you had there working?
They would tell me
instead of
that.
you? Okay. Was that going on?
That never happened. He only went with me to just help pick out cabinets. He lined up door people for us to go get prices on doors because we were paying for all the
The materials.
materials off the side. we were only paying labor. So it was all in the contract. So we weren't gonna break the contract. But we found out he didn't even have a license. His license was expired.
I don't want to get into that right now. That's something you take up with the state, not here with me, okay?
Yeah.
So going forward now, you pay him over $23,000
And
in
the
labor.
work's not done.
I'm trying to understand that.
He would ask for payment in advance to pay the guys. So we would give him the money to pay the men for certain parts that are supposed to be done. But it wasn't getting done. Like, we had to have the painting done before we could, say, put the cabinets in. Well, the painters quit because they said they would not work under Patrick.
Coming up, the details of the communication breakdown are disputed.
I said, okay, well, just pay me up to what we did, and we'll just sign off the contract.
He was double charging us. As he walked away, he threatened to blow up our house.
And later, was the money paid on a car lease, a loan, or a gift?
We stopped at the ATM. He like, oh man, somebody done took money out my account.
I said, look, you know, the 500, I couldn't get the other $500 out the account. I mean, I don't know what to
So
do
how does
from
he
here.
tell you he's going
So-
to pay you this $500 back?
Plaintiff Patrick McDonald says Anna kept running out of money. He's suing for payment on completed work. Defendant Anna Bean says she doesn't owe because Patrick lied about having a valid contracting license. She's countersuing for work not completed.
How did this contract come to an end? Because I understand that you didn't complete the work, but that both of you sort of walked away from this. What happened?
The riff happened when we started walking through the house with her husband, and all of a sudden he's just picking it apart. But he's already accepted it and paid for the project. Someone else has come through and said, oh, that should be like this, and it was just getting jumbled up. The doors were installed. I said, okay, pay us up to the project where we're at, a progress payment. Okay, I'm not asking for anything that's not in writing as the project progresses. That's why she kept making the payment.
When he walked
because it was
away, Your
moving
Honor,
forward.
he threatened to blow up our house. That's how mad he was.
That's
He had
just
already
crazy.
paid for the doors.
You've lost
What?
it.
And he was double charging us. As he walked away, he threatened to blow up our house.
What did he say? What happened?
I can blow this house up. And my daughter decided to finally call the police officers.
Do you have a police report?
No, they couldn't make one because he didn't threaten to
So-
kill us. He just threatened to blow up the house.
You have no evidence that you called the police? No proof of that?
I do. I have a name, but I didn't bring it with me.
The detective?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you say that, sir, that you were going to blow up the house?
No.
What did you say?
I said, I'll see you in court. I walked away. I
Really?
closed my file.
So
I said,
you said, I'll see you
in
in court. You said, I'll blow up the
court.
house.
Yeah, because they said I should just wash the doors and just not get any pay on it. I said, look, pay me for the doors. Because I've already paid the guys that installed them, okay? This is my money. She goes, well, you're the contractor. I don't like paying contractors. I said, wait a minute. If it's going to go this direction, because her husband had already told me, we'll finish the job. I said, okay, well, just pay me up to what we did, and we'll just sign off the contract. It's not like, I've been doing this 35 years. It's not like this is the first rodeo.
See you in court. This definitely doesn't sound like I'm going to blow up the house.
No.
So there's
Didn't
no
sound to
way
me
that you
either.
can get those words misconstrued.
Well, her daughter called me as I was leaving and starts,
Why do you think
cussing
they
me
called
out.
the
I'm
police?
thinking, what the heck's
Why do you
this
think they
about?
called the police?
because they drink too much and they get a little bit paranoid.
Seriously?
Miss Bean, here we are. We're talking about $1,000 for the doors. Can you
Right.
please offer me proof that he's double charging you for the doors?
I have a contract here where it says that we paid him for the doors.
Let me see the contract.
I'd like to see it.
I don't think it says
And
that.
it was supposed to be done, the house is supposed to be done in a couple of weeks. And Your Honor, we've been living like this for 6 months. And it started, we were remodeling our home in order for my mother who has dementia.
I know that you want this contract to say what you just told me in court, but it just doesn't say that. I know you want it to, but
No, it
but
says
just
right there, the
doesn't.
doors.
No, this is
And-
the contract you signed at the very beginning of the agreement,
He
which is
cashed it.
overall the work that he was supposed to do and how much you would pay him for the work.
No,
this is the
that's-
contract that he just
That's
gave
an
me.
additional contract. That's an add-on contract.
Can I see the defendant's response to the demand letter you submitted to her? May I
Yeah.
see that response, please?
What's this? It's the same way.
You sent her a letter on what date, sir? How many days after you left that day and said, I'll see you in court.
I don't even see a copy of it in here. If you have a copy or she has a copy, it's dated. That's the day it went out.
Do you have a copy of his letter?
Yes.
Okay. This resolves this issue for me completely, and I'm going to tell you why. Around the first week of July, that's the last time he shows up at your house, and the two of you
July
have a
7th.
disagreement, and he leaves, and he doesn't come back to work after that, but he does send you an invoice for installation of the 10 doors. And he sends you a demand letter dated July 22nd, 2015. You write a very detailed response on all the things you think he's done to breach this contract. But what you don't say in this letter, ma'am, is I'm not paying you $1,000 for the doors because I already paid you for that, and you're double dipping. That's what you don't say in this letter. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff, $1,028. Your counterclaim is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We trusted him, and I guess he's just a good liar.
It just didn't work out. I wish it would have, but it just didn't work out. But I think the judge caught it.
Plaintiff Samantha Irwin says she dated the defendant years ago, but when he defaulted on a car loan in her name, she knew it was over. She's suing for money loaned. Defendant Jarrett Mills says he owes nothing because the money for the car loan was a gift, and he didn't have to pay it back.
Samantha Irwin,
Yes, ma'am.
you are suing the defendant, Jarrett Mills,
Yes, ma'am.
for $1,212. You say he owes you for money you loaned to him for various items?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why don't we start from the beginning? Tell me what's going on here. How do you know Mr. Mills?
I met Mr. Mills in 2007, like around January. We met at Walmart. We dated for a couple years off and on. We became friends, and we stayed friends over the years.
How long did you date?
I want to say like between 2 and 3 years.
Okay, so from 2007 to 2010, why did the two of you break up?
She was, in the church and everything, and, she.
We weren't on the same page.
Yeah, we were. Guess we weren't on the same
Spiritually, you
page.
were on a
Yeah,
different level, is what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
You were in two different places?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I understand. So you were in the club and she was in church?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the two of you remained friends, and then it came to a point where you had a discussion about a car. He needed a car.
Yeah, he approached me in September, and he asked me if I would help him to get a car. He was explaining to me like a situation he was dealing with as far as like child support, and he told me if he got a car in his name, his child support would go up.
So you go to the car dealership, and you do what?
So we signed, he picks out the car that he wants. I'm like, you got this. He was like, I'm gonna double up on the payments. You don't gotta worry about nothing. Like, let's just go ahead.
Is he with you at the dealership?
Yeah, I never went by myself.
Is he with you when you sign the car loan papers?
Yes, as a matter of fact,
Is his name on the papers anywhere at the dealership?
No.
Did you tell them that this car wasn't for you?
Yeah.
The problem is with what you are describing to me, that's a straw purchase. And that means when you go into, for example, in this case, a dealership, and you tell them, I want to buy a car, you have to be approved for financing. So they rely on your credit, your history, the check that they do on you to decide whether or not they're going to finance a car.
Yes, ma'am.
And the reason why dealerships don't allow these straw purchases is if someone stops making payments, how are they going to find him? They don't have his information. They don't have anything about him. All they know is to come to you and look for you. And I guarantee you, if I look at your loan paperwork, it's stated in your paperwork.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the friendship fail goes from bad to worse.
The car wound up being in my name. I had to put the car on my insurance that same day.
I paid my portion of the car that I was driving that was on her insurance.
Okay.
He never paid me the insurance, ma'am.
Plaintiff Samantha Irwin says Jarrett defaulted on a car loan in her name. She's suing for money loaned. Defendant Jarrett Mills says he owes nothing because the money was a gift.
he puts down a $500 down payment, you put down $500, and the agreement is what about the $500 that she put down?
The agreement about the $500 was for taxes. I guess
Okay,
that
but
was
were you
owed.
supposed to pay that
put
back or not,
taxes.
sir?
Yes, I was supposed to pay that back.
Did you?
I actually gave her $300 towards that.
Okay, what else are you
about a
suing
month or
for,
two later.
ma'am?
Okay, first of all, we stopped at the ATM. He was supposed to pay $1,000 that first day. We stopped at the ATM. He like, oh man, somebody done took money out my account. So we get to the dealership, and that's what he's telling them, and I'm believing it. I don't have a reason not to at this point in time. So.
And that's when you turn around and you go back home and you say, after you investigate
Yeah.
and find out who's taking money out of your account, then we go back
But I
to
also
the car
told her
dealership.
that. I told her that. I said, look, you know, the $500, I couldn't get the other $500 out the account. I mean, I don't know what to
So
do
how does
from
he
here.
tell you he's going
So-
to pay you this $500 back?
Oh, he was gonna give it right back to me. We had
That didn't happen.
No.
So what happened next?
Okay, so the car wound up being in my name. I had to put the car on my insurance that same day. He was supposed to, at that point in time, he was supposed to get his own insurance.
You paid $239.30 for insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever pay the insurance?
I paid my insurance, yes.
But
on
you
my
didn't pay
portion
the
of the
insurance that she got on the car.
No, I didn't pay her. No, I paid for my insurance. I paid my portion of the car that I was driving that was on her insurance.
Okay.
He never paid me the insurance, ma'am.
Where does he say he's going to get the money to pay you back?
The $500 was supposed to come from the bank giving him the money back. Then he told me that he was at the mall and a shelf fell on him, and he sued them for like $7,000. Then,
So he was going to get a settlement check?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, what else did he tell
Then
you?
his mom wound up passing right after he got the car, which was when all this stuff really
sorry to hear that.
basically happened. So when his mom passed, he told me he was getting money from that. Never saw that. Then it was tax time. So like I said, I was paying
Tax refund.
Yeah, I was.
I never told her
tax
anything. I never
refund.
told her anything about a tax refund because I don't
Everything
get
you're
tax
telling me
refund.
now, red flag, settlement check, no one ever gets their money when they
Right.
say they're going to get it from a settlement check.
Yes, ma'am.
Tax refund, never going to see the money. Inheritance, never happens.
Never happened. Yeah.
Show me proof of car insurance and car taxes you paid, ma'am. What is a $100 loan for a suit? What's that for?
When his mom passed,
That's totally false.
When his mom passed, he asked me, could I help him purchase the suit for the funeral? I was going out of town. I wasn't going to be able to make the funeral, and I felt like that's the least I could do. He was my friend.
And he told you he'd pay you back?
Yeah.
That's not
Yes,
true.
What do you say
I
happened?
never loaned. I never asked her for any money for a suit at all.
So
I
she
had
wasn't
to-
involved in a suit at all?
No, not at all.
Hold on a second. You said in your statement to the court that she gave you $100 for a suit for
I
the
never
funeral.
said that.
This is your
That's not a
statement to the
statement
court,
that I
sir.
made. No, that's not right.
Okay, well, I didn't write this.
I didn't write it either. I never said anything about a suit at all. I know exactly what I say. It wasn't involving a suit. I'm just hearing about it. I'm just hearing this thing about a suit today.
Oh, stop.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Here's what we're going to do. Whether or not he paid the remainder of that $500 for the down payment of that car, it doesn't matter because I'm discounting that altogether. Because when you entered into this agreement with the finance company, you entered into an illegal agreement, a straw purchase, and you should not have done that. So you then can't come into court and try to sue over an illegal agreement, and that's the lesson that you're going to take from this and you're going to learn. However, what she does not have to do is cover certain expenses after this car was purchased. You had an agreement to pay insurance and some of the taxes on the car, and I do find you responsible for that. In addition, I believe her testimony about the $100 for the suit. So my judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $600 plus court costs. Good luck.
Jared and I would we'd never talk after this. There's no relationship. We won't be friends, nothing. It's done with.
I've learned that I should just, get a car in my name if, I need it. So, just in case anything happened, no one else will be responsible.
Today on Judge Faith, buddies splitting an Atlanta apartment get an eviction notice. And then it gets ugly.
It was just fine And then things got really weird. She started texting other people that she had introduced me to, don't talk to Trey, he's a monster, he's lying.
I wanted a roommate. I didn't want a friend or somebody to talk to all the time. Like, I just wanted you to pay your bills and let me live my life like I was doing.
This is what happens when one lie leads to the next. You play everybody against each other and it comes all crashing down on you.
And later, a Jaguar and a Sentra get caught in a hit and split. But both owners say it wasn't their fault.
I got out of my vehicle, tried to wave him down. He just did not stop, made the first right on a residential street and kept going.
She got a call saying, if you want your car back, come pick it up at this spot. But when she got there, the cops said this car was involved in a car accident.
You clearly know more than what you're telling me in court today.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Artravius Henley says his former roommate didn't use their money for rent, and they were evicted. He's suing for rent, moving costs, and lost wages. Defendant Kaya Bertolini says she doesn't owe because Artravius broke the lease, causing them to be evicted. She's countersuing for eviction fees and stolen property.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Henley versus Bertolini.
Thank you, Juan. Artravius Henley,
Yes, Judge.
you are suing the defendant Kaya Bertolini
Yes.
for $1,962 for rent, moving cost, and lost wages.
Yes.
And you are countersuing, ma'am, for $4,300 for eviction fees and stolen bed sheets.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll start with you, Mr. Henley. Tell me what's going on here.
So I went on roommates.com, was trying to find one, ended up talking to a few people and connected more with Kaya. We talked for a while and we decided that we were going to move in. Her location was good, the rent price was great. I didn't have a bed for like 2 days, and she actually offered for me to sleep on the other half of the bed until I went and picked up my furniture.
On the other half of her bed?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So like we shared a bed for 2 days. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Took care of her dog, walked the dogs, bought food. Like, it was a great arrangement for the first month.
Okay. So, I mean, it sounds like things were going great between the two of you. What happened?
It was going just fine. I was working full time. She even took me to a few bars. We've met some restaurants. I met a bunch of her friends. Like, everything was going great. Mm-hmm. And then at some point in the middle of the second month, things got weird. I would come home after working and go, hey, how are you doing? No response. Or she'd just look at me weird and go back to the computer. Before
you talk about when things got weird, let me hear from you. How were things living? Because this is someone who moved in sight unseen. You'd never met him before. He moves into your apartment. How were things for you the first month or two?
I wanted a roommate. I didn't want a friend or somebody to talk to all the time. Like, I just wanted you to pay your bills and let me live my life like I was doing.
But he slept in your bed for the first 2 nights he was there.
He didn't have a bed. He didn't have a bed. I wasn't gonna make him sleep on the floor. Like, I feel responsible for other human beings, you know?
Okay, so you were trying to distance yourself, and you're saying that's what he was feeling when he said things got awkward.
I was trying to focus on myself and getting my life together and not, and I just think that he wanted to bond and be really close.
So what happens?
So toward the end of the second month, she gets really antsy about rent. You're gonna have rent, right? You're gonna have rent. Yeah. Like, I haven't given you a reason to, but yeah. So I actually write the rent check a little early. And then we get the doors replaced and everything because we had leakage. On the front door, there's this pink slip. There's an eviction notice and it's expedited.
On your door?
On the front door of that they just replaced. I sent her a picture. Hey, we need to talk about this. What is this? No response. Not only did I didn't get a response, but she started texting other people that she had introduced me to. Don't talk to Trey. He's a monster. He's lying. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I don't see her again until 2 a.m. And I'm like, hey, I'm waiting to talk to you. I don't need to talk to you. I don't have to talk to you right now. We'll do it when I want to.
She was saying that to you?
That's what she told me.
Okay.
I'm like, no, I'm an adult.
Did you call the leasing office to see what's going on?
Not at this point. And I'm like, no, I'm an adult. We need to talk about this. I tried to talk to her. Things got really loud. She literally took the beer bottle out of my hand and threw it into the street. Okay. At that point, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to talk about it anymore. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
So what happened? What was going on?
Coming up, the situation with the sublease goes from bad to worse.
She also threw my stuff outside at the end of the month.
Why would you do that?
He got aggressive. He wouldn't talk to me.
You had no right to perform an illegal eviction because now that he's there, he has rights.
And later, car owners disagree about who should pay for the damage caused by a stolen car.
Who was driving?
I don't know, my car is stolen.
The name she gave me was Jacob.
Everyone always comes up with that mysterious one-name person, Jacob. We don't know who Jacob is, but Jacob did it.
Plaintiff Artravius Henley says Kaya used their rent to pay her car note. He's suing for rent, moving costs, and lost wages. Defendant Kaya Bertolini says she doesn't owe because Artravius broke the lease. She's countersuing for eviction fees and stolen property.
Basically, I was having all these weird black mold in our closet. Water was coming in under the door. The air conditioning didn't work. So I was like, hey, this new, a unit that you gave me is messed up. And I went to Trey and I was like, listen, this place sucks. Would you like to be my roommate on the 1st of September? We'll just move out, I'll break my lease, let's do it, because I was having these issues. And he was like, yes, let's do it. So he paid me rent because we have a contract.
Is that true?
She wanted to break the lease. I'm like, are you sure about that? They're fixing everything. Like, that doesn't seem good. I'm not on the lease with you. We have an agreement between each other.
If that was the agreement, that the two of you were going to break the lease and move, why was he paying your rent?
I paid all the utilities and the rest I held on to for when we were moving out in August so I could make sure I had the full deposit.
That wasn't what he gave it to you for, and that's not what you said in your statement to the court. You said that you used the money you got from him to pay for your truck so it would not get repossessed.
No, that is correct, but...
Yeah, because that's what you said, but you're telling me something different today. You're telling me today that you used the money so you could move out in September.
Correct.
But you didn't, because you used it to pay off your truck so it wouldn't get repossessed. He doesn't know that. You don't tell him that. That's not what he gave you permission to use this money for. And then he gets an eviction notice, and he doesn't know what's happening. I believe him.
Okay.
She also threw my stuff outside at the end of the month.
Why would you do that? What happened?
I get a text message from her saying that I nicely packed her things up and they're outside underneath a tarp in case it rains.
Did she give you a reason for doing that?
Because she had been served that day.
You packed his things up and put him outside?
She told me she called the cops.
But the two of you were supposed to be living together in the month of September?
But that was because he wouldn't talk to me when I got home. His whole thing that we tried to talk and he tried to talk to me, like, that's a complete fabrication.
This is the letter that she wrote to you?
It was on the counter the next morning.
I have until the 21st of August to respond and file an action back not to leave, which I will do. I will respond if I can come up with the fee. There were no plans to leave. You're telling him you have until the 21st to respond, not to move out. And you tell him, which you will do, you will respond if you can come up with the money. Meaning, give me some more time, I will try to get this worked out.
Correct.
Okay, you gotta stop lying to me.
No, but I'm
You
not.
gotta stop perjuring yourself in court. You gotta stop. Because what he's saying is the truth. You took his rent money and you spent it on your truck. You had no right to do that. You stole the money. And then you put him out. And then, may I see the text message, please? And then you have the audacity to put him out on the street? He just moved from Los Angeles. He paid his rent, but you put him out? Why?
Yeah, he got aggressive. He wouldn't talk to me. I was trying to fix a situation. I thought that we were gonna leave. The only reason I didn't pay rent is because he said that we were leaving. So that's what I did. And then he bounced in September. So I actually got evicted. I actually had to get rid of my dogs. I actually do not have a job. I literally have nothing, and he's trying to sue me. So yes, I packed up his stuff when he served me, and I called the police, and I was like, can I do that? They were like, yes, as long as you don't break his stuff. I packed it up nicely, and then he left my apartment in horrible condition with...
Let me tell you something. I have zero sympathy for you. None.
Awesome.
On August 21st, you sent him a text message telling him that you had boxed up all of his things, placed them outside, and the apartment complex is going to change the locks.
I spoke to the police and the apartment complex as soon as I got that letter. The police immediately said she cannot do that. The apartment complex had no idea I was there, and it's illegal for her to, one, change the locks on the apartment without the complex doing it first, and to sublent to me in the first place.
This is what happens when one lie leads to the next. You play everybody against each other, and it comes all crashing down on you. But you had no right to perform an illegal eviction because now that he's there, he has rights, and he's paid you. You're the one that hasn't paid rent, but you put him out, and now you're countersuing him for over $4,000? You've got to be kidding me. Unbelievable.
It was a pretty bad ordeal just trying to get
Did she give you your
stable
security
again.
deposit back?
I've got nothing back from
Why
her.
do you give him his $250 back?
How can I give him something if he won't talk to me?
The
You are
last time I
ridiculous.
spoke to her
You sound ridiculous.
was
Coming up with excuses that make no sense. I don't care if he's not talking to you, doesn't mean you can't write him a check. You moved him in under false pretenses and you kicked him out under false pretenses. You're getting that money back for the month of August. In addition to your security deposit, in addition to your moving expenses that you incurred as a result of the unlawful eviction she performed as a result of the unlawful sublet you engaged in. Your counterclaim is dismissed. Total judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $1,064 plus your court costs. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Judge. I should probably just live by myself. Trust no more roommates.
I think that the ruling was a little misconstrued.
Plaintiff Emanuela Valine says the defendant's car crashed into hers and then fled the scene. She's suing for car repairs, towing fees, and lost wages. Defendant Blanca Perez says she doesn't owe any money because the car was being driven by someone else at the time of the accident. She's accompanied in court today by her son, Edwin Resendez.
Emanuela Valine?
Correct.
You are suing the defendant Blanca Perez
Yes, Your Honor.
for $6,205, car repairs, tow fees, and lost wages as a result of a car accident?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I understand you have a witness with you here today, ma'am, your son,
Correct.
Edwin Resendez?
Correct.
Okay. We'll start with you, Miss Valine. Tell me what happened on the day of this accident.
I was driving home from work, and I was approaching an intersection where I had the right of way to go straight. After I passed through, I saw the person inside the vehicle speeding towards me, accelerating towards me. I pushed my brakes, slammed on him. My whole front of my vehicle was damaged. His passenger side was damaged. He kept on speeding, took off, did not stop. I got out of my vehicle, tried to wave him down. He just did not stop, made the first right on a residential street and kept going.
Okay, and let me see what the damage is to your car. Okay, so that's your, oh, okay. Significant accident.
Yes. Basically, I was contacted by the police who said that they ended up finding the person who hit my car and the owner of the vehicle. They reached out to her, and she claimed that she had no insurance at the time and she did not know who was driving her vehicle since several people drive her vehicle.
So when you called her, what was that conversation?
She said that she knows the person who hit my car, gave me a phone number and a name, and at that point told me to go ahead and give him a call because he was the one responsible for the damages.
Okay, and what name did she give you?
The name she gave me was Jacob.
Okay. Your car was involved in an accident, in a hit and run.
But I don't
Who
know
was
my
driving?
car. I don't know. My car is stolen. I didn't know that.
I'm sorry?
The car was stolen. So what happened was she sent the car to get fixed, and the mechanic dropped it off and everything, and then it was a Wednesday, but at the same time she got a call saying from an unknown number saying, if you want your car back, come pick it up at this spot. And she tried reporting it stolen, but since her English...
Well, you're saying she would try to report it stolen after it was involved in a hit and run accident,
but
right? Who is Jacob?
Jacob is a friend, but I don't tell her it's him that he stole the car.
That was her main suspect, who she believed that took the car.
It's
Okay,
the only person.
why do you think Jacob stole your car?
Because I told her I want to sell the car, you know, and I lived, he's in my house, but after the days, I don't see my car.
Everyone always comes up with that mysterious one-name person, Jacob. We don't know who Jacob is. We don't know where he lives. He doesn't have a phone number, but Jacob did it.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the stolen car story is disputed.
Edwin,
Correct.
who was driving the car that day, Edwin?
We don't know.
I think you know too.
No, I really don't.
I just
Okay.
don't understand how you go from having your car fixed to thinking Jacob stole it.
Plaintiff Emanuela Valine says Blanca's car was involved in a hit and split. She's suing for car repairs, towing fees, and lost wages. Defendant Blanca Perez says she doesn't know because the car was being driven by someone else.
So Juan is going to translate for me. You clearly know more than what you're telling me in court today. Tell her.
Lo que está diciendo es que ella no entiende cómo tu carro estaba en un accidente. El momento que ocurrió, agarras una llamada de alguien que tú ni sabes el número, no puedes reconocer la voz y en ese momento crees que es alguien, el Jacob, y le das esa información a la señora y cómo vas a saber todo eso de cuando ocurrió el accidente. So ella está diciendo que ella cree que hay algo que no le estás diciendo.
Ok, cuando pasa lo del accidente, yo no sabía que había pasado accidente.
What did she say?
She says when the accident occurred, she didn't know about the accident.
Edwin,
Correct.
who was driving the car that day, Edwin?
We don't know.
I think you know too.
No, I really don't.
I just
Okay.
don't understand how you go from having your car fixed to thinking Jacob stole it.
Oh,
I'm
you
missing
guys are-
something in
yeah,
that
you
story.
guys- he returned the car the same day. That same day, he put the car back, gave him the keys, and then Wednesday came, and that was the day of the accident. And Wednesdays are the days that the street sweeper passes. She went out to move the car. When she moves out, the car wasn't there. So she starts looking for it, and she gets a call.
Your Honor, can I say something real quick? The accident was on March 3rd. March 3rd was a Tuesday, not a Wednesday.
Okay, Miss Valine, that helped. I just want to be clear. You went out to move your car because a street sweeper was coming and you noticed it wasn't there.
So quiere clarificar que cuando saliste a mover el carro, saliste porque iban a limpiar la calle y esa es la razón que saliste.
Es que...
Yes or no?
Yes.
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 Okay, your story has changed completely. Because you said before that the first time you ever knew that your car was missing was when you got that anonymous call from someone saying, if you want your car, it's at this location, and you went to that location. That's what you said in your statement to the court. That's what you said when you showed up to court today. The second thing is, if someone goes outside and their car is missing, they don't get in their car and just start driving around randomly to look for it. Like it's a pet, like it's a dog that ran away from home. You don't do that. So again, I go back to what I said, because if it doesn't make sense, ma'am, it's not true.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Here's what I think happened. Someone was in that car, they got in an accident, the accident was their fault, they hit the car, they ran. So they call you and tell you where the car is and you go to that location.
But
Get
it's
over
not
here
my
right
fault.
now, I've been in an accident, this is where your car is. And
But
the
it's
police
not my
show up.
fault.
Oh, you can understand me now? You can understand what I'm saying now?
I don't understand. I told you already.
And so then you show up at the location, but whoever was driving that car, they're gone, they're ghosts. As the owner of that car and as the person who let the insurance lapse, I find you to be responsible for this accident. And the third reason why I find you to be responsible is because you're covering for someone. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $3,193 judgment for the plaintiff.
I felt like the judge's ruling was unfair. She didn't even look at the fact that I couldn't get to work and I lost my job because I did not have a vehicle. Other than that, I'm happy that at least I get the money for my vehicle back.
Today on Judge Faith, a woman hit by hard times comes face to face in court with a friend she claims took advantage of her.
I was in a coma, a medically induced coma. My other friend found me 2 to 3 days later, so I don't know why she couldn't find me.
She told me that bugs had eaten her computer, had eaten her washer and dryer. She called me one day when she was giving away all of the belongings inside of her house.
Did you think the bugs were eating your computer and washer and dryer?
I was concerned about everything being infested.
Tell me about the day you called 911. You go over to the house, you knock on the door, you ring the doorbell. What happened?
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Deborah Hawk says while she was in a medically induced coma, the defendant entered her house without permission and took personal belongings. She's suing for the cost to replace missing belongings. She's accompanied in court today by Patrick Connor. Defendant Karen Wilson says she owes nothing because she stepped up to help when no one else did. And Deborah should be thanking her for saving her life.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Hawk versus Wilson.
Thank you, Juan. Deborah Hawk.
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Karen Wilson,
Yes.
for $6,000, the value of personal property you say she's responsible for?
Yes.
Okay, why don't we start from the beginning, ma'am? Tell me how you know Miss Wilson.
On occasion, we met through a mutual friend. On occasion, she would hire me to do yard work at her house and on occasion other people's houses. And I wouldn't call it friendship, but an acquaintanceship. She would call me for work and I would work for her on occasion.
Okay, and give me some background on you.
I work with a lot of homeowners who need lots of work done on their homes, and so I expedite taking care of maintenance, plumbers, electricians, mostly $1 million properties for people who travel long distance, need assistance with new construction, permitting.
And you met her through that work? Someone recommended her in terms
Through
of
a mutual
landscaping?
friend
A
to
mutual
just do
friend.
some minor.
And when was that?
I have to guess that it was around 2012.
2012.
I'm estimating.
Okay, has she been to your home before?
Yes, she has.
To visit you? How many times?
Once.
Just once prior
Once
to
in-
the incident in this case?
Correct. She'd been to my house, but not inside my home. I think she's been inside my home one time.
Okay, one time. And that's prior to the incident that you're going to tell me about in this case?
Correct.
So why don't you tell me what happened here?
I was in the hospital in November 22nd, 2014 through December 31st, 2014. And then into skilled nursing up through January 31st of 2015.
Why were you in the hospital?
It was a chemical overdose of bug poison, bug spray. Chemical poisoning from
How did that
pesticides.
happen?
I had two contractors in my house for pesticide control, and then a friend came in that worked at a nursery and sprayed the home. And after that, I was washing my carpets and I used the wrong chemical. And
Why were you having so many people over to spray for bugs?
I had a bad infestation. There was some type of insect that I was having problems with that, come to find out, came from gardening, the soil.
Okay, and that insect was in your home now?
It was on me. I didn't know where it came from at the time.
It was on you? What do you mean by that?
It was a parasite that's invades your skin. Garden flukes, soil flukes.
And what is this?
Those were actual, I don't know if you want to call them worms, but they're a parasite that come out of your skin. They feed on your blood.
They were embedded under your skin?
Yes.
So you're in your home in November and you pass out because of chemical poisoning due to all of the pesticide spray
Correct.
that you had people doing in your home because you didn't know where these bugs were coming from.
Correct.
And during this time period, you're the one that found her in her home, right?
I didn't
How did
find-
that happen?
I did not find her in her home. I am the person who called 911. Previous to this period, during this time up to when she was hospitalized, she had told me that she was putting bug bombs in the furnace, turning her furnace on. I reported her to the mental health services anonymously. Nothing came of that. She continued to...
You didn't believe her?
Oh, I believed her. They didn't take an action. They didn't do anything. I was very concerned. She went on to start throwing away all of her belongings in her house. She told me that her washer and dryer had been eaten by these bugs, and she had thrown them away.
And so you had a conversation with her and told her about these issues with the bugs?
Yes, I did. And at that time, I was in the process of moving. I had packed up things I wanted to take with me. And yes, I was concerned about them because I did not know the origin of these things.
Okay, and so why did you think you needed to call the mental health facility and report that?
Putting bug bombs into a gas furnace, I was concerned about fire, damaging other people's property, her health. The whole perimeter of her house had bug bombs all around it. She told me that bugs had eaten her computer, they'd eaten her washer and dryer. She gave away she called me one day when she was giving away all of the belongings inside of her house.
Did you tell her that the bugs had infested the washer, the dryer, your computer, and were eating those things?
No.
Coming up, how serious was the situation in the house?
There was almost nothing in the house but sheets of plastic with candles. And I kept saying, please show me the bugs. And she would point inside the candles and say, there they are, there they are. And it was just candle wicks.
Plaintiff Deborah Hawk says Karen entered her home and took personal belongings. She's suing for the cost to replace missing belongings. Defendant Karen Wilson says she owes nothing because Deborah's family member requested her help.
On the day you show up at the house and call the police, what happened?
Prior to calling the day I showed up, prior to showing up at the, I apologize. I'm torn between being extremely angry and extremely empathetic. If it wasn't for the 911 call, she wouldn't be standing here right now. She had called me on a Saturday and said that she was going to go live with God and give away the rest of her positions.
That's a strong statement you say she made. Did you say that to her?
I said I believe in God, and I'm going in with my faith in God to wherever it is I'm going to move to. I had my house up for sale. I did not have a destination in mind I was going to. I thought I was going to move to Washington with some friends.
So it wasn't quite as pointed as what she said, as in, I'm going to be with God, essentially.
No,
you were saying it's your position that you said you were moving,
yes,
and God will be your guide on that move.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And she had no plan. It was scary. We turned around immediately and went to go make sure she was okay. We went into the house. She wanted to show us the bugs, and there was almost nothing in the house but sheets of plastic with candles. And I kept saying, please show me the bugs. And she would point inside the candles and say, there they are, there they are. And it was just the candle wicks that were disintegrating.
What do you say happened?
That is not true.
What do you say happened?
Well, you could look, fleas jump into white candles. I live in a wooded area. There are lots of fleas. I do burn candles at night. My cat had passed away, and I did have a flea infestation. Fleas do jump into a bright flame. Yes, there were fleas in the candle wax.
Tell me about the day you called 911.
Yes.
When you go over to the house, you knock on the door, you ring the doorbell, what happens?
Previous to that, I was trying to call her a couple of times a day to make sure she was okay. She stopped answering the phone, so I drove to her house. Her car was there. She didn't answer the door. And that was unusual. She was always outside. I went back about an hour later, or maybe two. I knock on the door. Her car's there. There's no answer. I went home and I called 911 to have a welfare check because I was concerned with all the amount of bug poisonings. The house was saturated in chemicals.
And when do you find out that the emergency responders actually showed up at her home and she was in there passed out?
That was the most stressful part, is I couldn't find out what happened for a long time, maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks, because no one would tell me if she was alive or dead. I didn't know.
So you didn't know?
I didn't know if she was alive or dead.
For 1.5 to 2 wees?
2 weeks, yeah, maybe up to 2 weeks, I didn't know, and I was really I felt so bad that I hadn't called sooner, but I felt like I was trying. I called the welfare people. I called everyone I could.
What was going on?
I was in a coma, a medically induced coma. Patrick, my witness, and my other friend found me 2 to 3 days later. My neighbors knew where I was.
Found you in the hospital?
Yeah. So I don't know why she couldn't find me.
Well, so in that 1.5 to 2 week time period, what was going on at your house? Because you said you're suing because you say she was one of the people who entered your home and took your personal belongings without your permission.
Correct.
How many days later after you went to the hospital?
Well, my neighbors told me that they saw her 4 days after, and she had told my neighbor that she had been there every day.
What do you say? Your neighbor said that they saw her filling up her car?
She told my neighbor came over to see why she was there, what was going on, and she said that I had given her permission to come and take the plants. So.
How long were you in the hospital, and what was missing when you got out?
Everything was missing when I got out.
Who else had keys to your home?
My neighbor and a family member.
Who gave keys to?
Karen.
How long were you in the hospital total?
2.5 months.
Okay, because that includes the hospital time and your time in the nursing home.
Yes.
What items did you remove from her home and when?
The only items that I removed were the 2 plants which were returned to her. And then I never had keys to her house. Her sister had keys to the house. The house was also left unlocked.
Well, I'm just asking you what you took from the home.
So
when did you go inside of her home? Who gave you permission to do that?
Her sister gave me permission to go inside the house to help find electricians and plumbers to repair all the damage to the electrical and the plumbing in the house.
Well, why was your sister contacting you to do those things?
I contacted her sister to see how Deborah was doing, to see if she was okay.
How did you find her sister if you couldn't find her?
She gave me her phone number when she started to be able to talk again.
When she was in the hospital?
Yes.
That's not true.
I went to visit her. She finally gave me her name, and she couldn't give me a complete phone number, but I was able to find her on the internet. And
Okay, what do you say?
contacted her sister.
That family member said she met up with Karen in the hospital cafeteria.
Okay, and she's not here?
No.
Why isn't she here?
I have a mediation.
You have a case with her too?
Yes.
Would you step up, sir, please? I'm just trying to understand. And who are you?
My name's Patrick.
And what's
I'm
your
a
relation to
friend,
the plaintiff?
Just a friend.
Okay, and how did Karen, Miss Wilson, get your information?
I have no idea, but the first time she called me, she was pretending to be someone from this hospital she was staying at. She called me at exactly 9 o'clock at night from an unlisted number, or a blocked number, pretending to be someone from the hospital asking what I thought of her mental condition. And I was like, who is this? Why are you asking me this? And she's like, I'll call you back later. Immediately she had to go. Hung up.
Well, how do you know it was her?
24 hours later, I get another call, same time, 9 o'clock at night, from an unlisted number, a blocked number, same voice.
And did she identify herself?
That point she did.
What did she say?
She says, I don't know what happened. She says, I've been calling her for weeks. I don't know where she went. Do you know what became, whatever, where is she? Why can't I get a hold of her? And she pretended not to know any of this stuff, that she was in hospital or anything.
And how many weeks after she'd been in the hospital did you get that call?
Probably about 3 weeks.
3 weeks afterwards?
Yeah.
What do you have to say to that?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You never called him?
No, I did call, but the sister had given me the phone number because I think one of her former tenants was threatening to sue her for back rent.
No. You called him and you told him that you were looking for her?
No, I already knew where Deborah was.
So
at
what
that point.
what was your purpose for calling him?
Deborah's sister and I were trying to find out how to handle she had a tenant that was trying to sue her at that time. I wanted to see if he knew how her condition was outside of what I could, because I couldn't find out much from the hospital if she was going to be okay or not.
I'm sorry. Okay, now you're losing me because you've been to the hospital. You said you spoke to the doctors. You said you've had a conversation with her sister. Why are you calling him? Or is what he's saying the actual truth? That you called him trying to find out where she was and what was going on with her mental state?
No, I was concerned about her mental state.
Okay, so I need you to start making sense because what you said doesn't make sense.
Coming up on Judge Faith, was Deborah desperate for help? Or was Karen just taking advantage of a friend?
Why do you have any of her items if her sister's there with a dump truck?
Because the house had to be emptied out, so I thought if I put some items in my garage until she got better, I could take them back, which I did.
According to him, you thought she was going to die.
Plaintiff Deborah Hawk says Karen took advantage of her. She's suing for the cost to replace missing belongings. Defendant Karen Wilson says she owes nothing because she was a good friend to Deborah and tried to help.
Why did you take her property for safekeeping, and where are those things? Did you give some of those items back to her?
I gave everything back to her that hadn't been destroyed. Everything was returned. Her sister had to clean out the house. She was 82 years old. She needed to clean out the house because the house was being sold, and she was asked by the real estate agent to clean it out.
That's not true.
Her sister asked me to help find people to repair it, to clean it out, and when I got there the day it was being cleaned out, there was already a dump truck there.
Why are you doing all of this?
Because I cared about her. I felt guilty that
you cared about her.
Sir.
I felt guilty that I didn't call sooner, and maybe she wouldn't have almost died.
The third time you called me, you told me she was brain dead and she was never getting out of the hospital.
Wait, she called you a third time?
She called me a third time to say she was never getting out of the hospital.
When did she tell you that?
That was probably about almost Christmas time.
So she called you in December and told you what?
That she was never getting out of the hospital. She was brain dead.
Did you call him and tell him
under
that?
care
No,
for
I said I
life.
was afraid she was never going to recover.
No, you told me that she wouldn't recover. She said she was never coming back.
I called another mutual friend and I said she looks so bad in the hospital. I don't think she's ever going to recover.
Well, you
Her
didn't say
face
the don't
was
think
caved
part to
in.
me. You said she wasn't. Absolutely. You said she's not getting out.
I wasn't diagnosing her. I was afraid she wasn't going to get out. I thought she would die. She looked that bad. It was terrifying.
And you're calling him to tell him that why?
To make sure that her friends and family knew what was going on, that if she needed some help, we could try to help her.
She's saying that you thought she was dead going to die, and before her body was cold in the grave, you went over there and helped yourself to her stuff. That's
No,
what she's
that-
saying.
absolutely,
And
that-
then it would kind of make sense, because I'm making a credibility assessment here. Why did you write this to her in an email? She's now emailing you, asking her about her property. When I have time, I will get your stuff. I promise to do so. However, I don't have time right now. That is all I can tell you until I have some time to deal with it. Where's her stuff?
Her stuff has been...
And she tells you the hats and the scarves, these are things that are not in a dumpster. They were in my dining room, along with other items I intended to keep, such as my coin collection.
When I got to the house, her sister had already put everything, was loading everything in a dump truck.
Why do you
I
have
took it
any of
home
her items if her sister's there with a dump truck?
Because the house had to be emptied out, so I thought if I put some items in my garage until she got better, I could take them back, which
Well,
I did.
according to him, you thought she was going to die. You didn't think that
This
was ever
was
going to
very
happen.
It
early
also
on.
never
This
got
is
back to her.
before-
And what happened? Where is it now?
This was before I knew.
She also made
But she was
$2,000.
What do you think her motivation was, sir?
I think she's profiting, taking advantage of her when she was down, kicking her when
Oh,
she was
my
down.
goodness.
And, Your Honor, I never gave anybody any authorization to take anything from my home.
And here I have an email from you telling her, do not write me anything, do not contact me. And that's in July, because she's been writing you about her items since she's been able to come home from the hospital. You took tools she used for jewelry making, a lamp she loved, a dehumidifier, a rock tumbler, knitted hats and scarves that she made, that you took those things from her home. You know, this is one of those cases where it's a circumstantial case and the evidence is thin, but your involvement here doesn't pass the smell test to me.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Here's what we're going to do. This is one of those cases where, in terms of liability, there's something very off that was going on here that you were involved in, Ms. Wilson. I think you took some of this woman's property. I think that you and the sister thought probably she wasn't coming back home. And I think you took advantage of a really bad situation that she was in. She was in a coma in a hospital. I think when you called him, you were fishing for information.
That's not true. That
So
didn't
here's what
happen.
we're going to do. I'm going to order you. You sued for $6,000, ma'am, and I know you have a case against your sister. She's partially responsible, so I'm not going to hold her accountable for the cost, the value of your stolen property. I've went through your paperwork. I've went through the receipts and the items that you've submitted to the court in terms of the value and the purchase price. You don't have receipts for everything, but the things that you do have receipts for, I'm going to credit you 50%. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm very thankful to Judge Faith for this decision. I appreciate it very much, and hopefully I can go on with my life.
I tried to do the right thing, and I guess what I'm hearing today is don't do the right thing.
Today on Judge Faith, sisters at a standstill come to court to determine the owner of a car.
How often would you ladies go to the casino together?
Quite often.
What's quite often?
At least once a month. Sometimes twice. Sometimes, I guess, even more. She did not want her boyfriend to know that she had spent the money at the casino for the vehicle.
Because she lost money gambling. You agreed to come up with this fake bill of sale.
Yes.
Okay, why should I believe that?
And later, Facebook crushes changed their status. But then it got complicated.
You know, we look at my Facebook, I've never had a problem getting a man. You look at his, it's been desperate.
Is that how you meet people on Facebook? People who say they're single and looking for love?
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Angela Heckman says her sister bought her car, but then stopped making payments. She's suing for the balance owed on the car. Defendant Christina Moore says she doesn't owe any money because she purchased the car outright but is afraid to drive it since her sister might repossess it at any moment.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Heckman versus Moore.
Thank you, Juan. Angela Heckman, you are suing the defendant, Christina Moore?
Yes.
For $1,100 for the balance owed on a used car?
Yes.
Okay, why don't we start from the beginning? You tell me what's going on here.
Hi, this is my sister, my best friend in the whole world. Excuse me, my everything. Anyways.
You want to have a tissue?
About the last year and a half, my sister lived in a home, very abusive, and we tried our best to try to get her independent from that. Anyway, she was going to buy a car in December, and that didn't go through, and so I told her that I would sell her my car on payments.
Okay, and what do you say the agreement was about her purchasing the car?
The agreement was that she would pay $200 a month until July.
And what was the total selling price for the car?
The total sale was $13,000.
So you agreed to sell her the car for $1,300, and she would start paying you $200 what month?
1st of February.
And is that what the agreement was?
It was, but it was...
Okay, so why don't you give me some background and tell me how this all started?
My sister and I had gone up to the casino, and she kept wanting to borrow hundreds and hundreds. And finally I said, "And I can't do this anymore. I have this other car I need to buy." And then she said, "Well, I'll sell you my car for $600 if you'll give me the money here."
So you're at the casino, she's gambling, and I guess losing, and asking you for money?
Yes.
And so you give her money at the casino with the agreement being, okay, I'm only going to pay $600 for this car?
Yes.
Okay. And then what happens next? You say that never happened?
Yeah, the car was a whole different arrangement. Yes, I did tell her that.
Let me see the bill of sale you say you had.
I did tell her, and this is her writing on top. My writing is on hers. We both wrote one. We both signed it.
Show that to her, please, before you show it to me, Juan, and just...
Yes.
Okay, let me see that. And how often would you ladies go to the casino together?
Quite often.
What's quite often?
Let's see. Well, you know what? At least once a month. Sometimes twice.
Okay.
Sometimes, I guess, even more. Well, I don't know. I don't keep track.
I mean, this is the original document, and it says here you agree to pay $1,300 in monthly payments to be completed by June of 2015.
Correct.
When you pay the final payment, she will provide you with a title and satisfaction of the bill of sale, and both of you sign it, and I guess your boyfriend signs this?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so I don't understand.
She did not want her boyfriend to know that she had spent the money at the casino for the vehicle, so I had agreed to kind of play with her story with the bill of sale and an extra $200 towards the vehicle to show her boyfriend that the vehicle was being purchased, although it had already been purchased.
Because she lost money gambling.
Yes.
You agreed to come up with this fake bill of sale.
Yes.
That you would make monthly payments.
Yes.
But you had already paid her the $600 for the car? So, and so you just agreed to come up with this after the fact?
Yes.
And then just to make the story look even better, you actually make a $200 payment the next month to keep the story going.
Yes, right in front
Okay,
of him.
why should I believe that?
Because
why would I believe that? You have any evidence to support what you're saying?
I have text messages between us that I have already paid her in full for the vehicle.
And she actually says that in text message?
Okay, here's one to where she says to me, I have a text message, just got done telling me to pick it up. I'll be there with the tow truck, goodbye. I said, yes, if you have $680, you may buy my car. And she said, heads up, you lying homewrecker. And then I stopped with that.
Let me see this, because I don't even understand what that means. How do I pull that back up? I touched something.
It goes to her pictures.
You might want to ask her.
There it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you got it.
The reason as to why I feel you should believe me is because her boyfriend had said to me, I wish that I would have gotten with you instead of Angie. And that had upset her that he would say that to me.
He said that in front of her?
He didn't say it in front of her, and I didn't repeat it to her because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. But I had said it to somebody else, and they had said something to her.
Is that true?
Actually, he said that to her a while ago. Didn't matter. She was still mine, and I was still hers.
Okay, so he did say that to her. And
Yeah,
he's still
the
your
home wrecking
boyfriend?
part is putting me in
Is
jail.
he still your boyfriend?
No.
So February 24th, she sends you a text message stating that she will not pay one more penny because your boyfriend and you have talked about it, and plain and simply, she doesn't owe you any more money than what she's already paid. You respond that your boyfriend told you that she was ripping you off, plain and simply.
I don't think that was my text message.
It is your text.
Is it? Well, if I'm being ripped off by her, it's because she won't pay me for my car. I said if I'm getting ripped off from her, she won't pay me for my car.
It's almost as if there's no understanding between the two of you as to what's going on here with this car.
Coming up, the sisters get shady.
Who has the title?
I do.
She was unable to put the vehicle in her name due to a DUI that she had received, so it was still in the original owner's name.
And later, the boys battle it out.
I called him and he said that I left because it's too much for me.
Did you say that to him?
I did not say that to him.
He told me that multiple times.
Not because of that. I left because he was abusive. He hit me multiple times.
Plaintiff Angela Heckman says her sister stopped making payments on the car she sold her. She's suing for the balance owed on the car. Defendant Christina Moore says she paid her sister up front for the car and doesn't owe any money.
Who has the car now?
It wasn't a fake.
You have the car? Who has the title?
I do.
She was unable to put the vehicle in her name due to a DUI that she had received, so it was still in the original owner's name.
This is why these kinds of car sales are never a great idea. The car breaks down, they don't want to pay anymore. Or they say, that wasn't our agreement. Whatever the agreement was, for whatever reason, they stop making payments and people end up here. That's why it's not a good idea. You're just thinking about today and not about tomorrow. If she wrecks the car, you're still on the hook. The best evidence in this case is this written bill of sale. And you submitted text messages to me trying to support your claim. The problem is they're all one-sided.
Right.
They're you saying, I paid for this car, where's my title? But you don't have her responses. How do I know she didn't respond and say, what are you talking about? You owe me money, pay me the money.
Right.
I'm ordering you to pay her $1,100, the remaining balance for the car, but I'm going to withhold that judgment until you can send to this court proof that you've signed over this title, that you can sign over a valid title to her. Once you do that, you will get your judgment enforced, $1,100 in favor of the plaintiff. That's my judgment.
Plaintiff Lorenzo Graham says his ex-lover is a lazy, irresponsible liar who promised to pay the rent after their breakup, but then bailed. He's suing for unpaid rent. Defendant Gerald Thomas says his ex-lover is a jealous, controlling man who bombarded him with fits of rage and kicked him out of their house. He's countersuing for pain and suffering.
Lorenzo Graham?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Gerald Thomas Jr.?
Yes.
For $600 for unpaid rent?
Yes.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $1,000 for pain and suffering?
Correct.
Okay, we'll start with you, Mr. Graham. Tell me how you know Mr. Thomas and what's going on here.
Originally, I met him. We were Facebook friends, and he would write depressing statuses such as, everyone's in a relationship but me. Why am I the only one that's single? You know, going on a rant about that type of thing. So I pretty much told him that he needed to refrain from making those type of comments because it made him seem desperate. So we had a...
Had the two of you met in person or just on Facebook?
No. It was
Just on
more of an
Just on Facebook, correct.
Okay.
It was more of an annoyance that's what I was seeing on my timeline when everyone else was so positive, you know? So we had a conversation from there, and then from there we sort of started texting and talking on the phone and that sort of thing.
So you inboxed him on Facebook?
No, at this point
And told him to lighten up a little bit?
Yes. So we ended up having a conversation about other things outside of that, and then we ended up texting and having a conversation over the phone. And then
What did he write to you? I'm just curious.
He wrote to me, hey, how are you? You know, what's going on? Basically trying to figure out why I was writing those statuses. But, I mean, again, that's my private life. So for him to say that, I mean,
well,
it holds no basis.
It's not private when you're doing it on a website, but that's neither here nor there.
Is that how you meet people on Facebook?
No.
People who say they're single and looking for love?
Obviously, no. It was more so me telling him that he needed to refrain from doing that and that it was just too much. And then as I got to talk to him outside of that, it turned out that he wasn't so bad outside of the whole depressing statuses. So, you know, we look at my Facebook, I've never had a problem getting a man. You look at his, it's been nonstop.
So you liked him when you met him?
I did, and obviously...
Did he look like his profile picture?
He did, obviously. Obviously, it was a mistake. The picture that he sent me was different than the picture that was on his profile, obviously in person.
But you ended up dating him.
I did end up dating him. I did end up liking him, his personality. He seemed very charismatic. He seemed very personable, very loving once we got into a relationship, but that turned later on in the relationship.
Okay.
He's a compulsive liar. The picture that was on my Facebook is the same picture that the same person that he met in person. Gerald has a tendency to lie, which is why we're here right now. When I first met him, I didn't get the impression that he was broke, but as you see, we're here today. When I met him, it was more so I started to feel sorry for him, which is why I felt that we had a connection in the first place. Because you hear someone telling you how their family life is, how their personal life is, how they're 24 and they don't have a job, or how they completed some certificate program and they still haven't gotten anywhere in life, and how their family is real negative. I related to him on some of those issues, but Gerald is very lazy.
I can see where you said he has the bubbly, positive personality.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now you see.
He's very lazy, he's an opportunist, and he's used to be given handouts. He's not used to working for anything, and that's what I discovered.
But he was your boyfriend for a long period of time. You knew these things about him when you started.
Initially I didn't.
I mean, isn't that a red flag when someone says, why am I the only one still single?
No, that's relationship status. I didn't know that it was problems with his professional status as well. You know, those are two different things. He wasn't working, he wasn't doing all those things, but I liked him for him, so I helped him.
So the two of you move in together. Do you sign a lease?
Yes.
Yes.
What happened? How did you end up moving or leaving out of this apartment that the two of you were living in?
I ended up leaving because he was he was physical with me.
Mm-hmm.
He hit me multiple times. No longer did I want to stay there and be subject to that. He was controlling, he was emotionally unstable, and he had problems of his own that I didn't know before I got with him. Had I known that, I would have never moved in, we would have never been together, he would have been by himself.
Coming up on Judge Faith, breakup texts reveal the bigger picture.
Did you kick him out?
I did, for lying and talking to other boys while I was at work.
He didn't tell me where he was going, so I texted him and I asked him, so you're not gonna tell me where you're going? He texts me and says, if you text me again, it's gonna be a problem.
Plaintiff Lorenzo Graham says his ex-lover promised to pay rent until the end of their lease, but then bailed. He's suing for unpaid rent. Defendant Gerald Thomas says he doesn't owe rent because his ex-lover forced him to vacate the apartment. He's countersuing for pain and suffering.
Were you hitting him?
No.
You don't sound very convincing.
He's not.
It's because the only thing that I
don't
will agree with...
Don't look down. The whole time you've been looking at me, talking to me this entire time, and now you look down when I ask you that question.
It's because I've heard this story before plenty of times.
Did you put your hands on him?
No, I did not.
So you've never hit him?
No.
You've never laid your hands on him?
No.
Did you kick him out?
I did.
When?
A few times for
Why?
lying.
Why?
And talking to other boys while I was at work.
Were you doing that?
I had male friends, but they were not, I wasn't talking to them to be in a relationship with them.
Okay.
And I explained that to him. He kicked me out over 8 times.
Tell me about the day you say he kicked you out.
I got home from work. We had already had an argument earlier that day. I wanted to come home from work and talk to him about our relationship and trying to basically reconcile. When I got home, basically he didn't want to reconcile. I said, well, what's the problem? Are you unhappy? Is it me? He said, basically, Joe, you can do what you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. So I said, okay, well.
So he didn't kick you out?
No, he did kick me out.
No, he told you you could do what you wanted to do. It didn't matter.
He did, but that was the end of the relationship. The next day, he left that night at 2 a.m.
Okay.
He didn't tell me where he was going, so I texted him and I asked him, so you're not going to tell me where you're going? He said, why would I tell you where I'm going when we're not in a relationship? I said, that's the thing. We just broke up, so I still care about you. I still want to know what happens to you if something does happen. Fast forward, he texts me and says, if you text me again, it's going to be a problem. I said, okay. He said, and then he said another text after that and said, pack your stuff and get out tomorrow.
Show me the text messages.
I don't have the text messages.
That's
We were on his
unfortunate.
account.
What do you say about how he left the home?
I called him and he said that I left because it's too much for me. I tried to work it out, but I've told you before that God has told me if I stayed in this relationship that I'm not going to get to where I want to be in life. And
Did you say that to him?
I did not say that to him. I told him I left
He
because he was
told me
abusive.
that
not,
multiple
not because of that.
Okay, so he didn't kick you out. You say you left because he was abusive?
I left because he was abusive.
Okay,
he
so
kicked
sir,
me out
that is
and I
no,
left.
that's not what you just said. That you said you left. You told him you left.
I left because he
you
kicked
left
me out.
That's not what you just said.
When you lie,
That's
it's
not
hard
what
to
you
keep
just
the
said.
story straight.
Stop. That's not what you just said. Listen, I have no doubt there was a lot of back and forth in this relationship. You say that you kicked him out multiple times. You returned to the relationship multiple times. It's somewhat of a classic codependent relationship. It seems to be somewhat unhealthy, but the two of you keep getting involved with each other. And frankly, this lawsuit may be another way for you to continue to stay in contact with him. You seem to have these arguments. You call him, you text him, you email him, I'm sorry, I can't live without you, I love you so much. But then you come into court, he's such a horrible person, he has no backbone, he doesn't work.
No, we haven't seen each other in
he's
over
a compulsive
year.
liar. But this is a person that you keep getting involved with over and over again.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Why do you say that he was harassing you? These text messages seem to be very conversational, calm, polite. Hey, last time we texted, you said you would get your refund later this month. Just wanted to ask you when you will be able to give me your half. You consider that to be harassment? Emotional stress?
Not the text messages, no. The phone calls were harassing.
Do you have proof of the phone call, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Your counterclaim for pain and suffering is dismissed. I'm ordering you to pay the $600 in unpaid rent. I believe you do owe that rent, sir. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff.
Today on Judge Faith, a homeowner confronts the roofer who failed to fix the damage done by a Louisiana hurricane.
The winds were so heavy in New Orleans area that it literally blew train cars over. This is an act of God. This is not me not having nailed your shingles.
And insult to injury, he goes on my roof, put mismatched shingles on my roof. I had pictures to prove that.
Did y'all bring me any beignets, or did you just walk up in here empty-handed? You know I was Miss Louisiana. You didn't bring me any beignets?
And later, a minor loan from a Marine turns into a major problem for a kid.
I said, Alex, I'm not your grandpa. You owe me $25. You're burning bridges here. This is crazy. What's wrong with you?
Did you borrow $25 from him?
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't pay this $25 back so we can go home, it's time for lunch.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Charles Ellis says he was forced to pay the defendant to fix the same leak multiple times because his work was sloppy. He's suing for a refund for services. Defendant Bob Bergens says he owes nothing because the job was not covered under warranty, and the damage was an act of God. He's countersuing for filing a small claims case.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Ellis versus Bergen.
Thank you, Juan. Charles Ellis,
Yes, Your Honor.
You were suing the defendant, Bob Bergens,
Yes, Your Honor.
for $200 for refund of services that he provided for you on your roof, sir?
Correct.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $304 for filing a small claims case.
Yes, ma'am.
So just because he sued you,
It was a countersuit.
it was a countersuit. Now, you're from New Orleans?
Correct.
You're from Slidell?
Yes, ma'am.
Did y'all bring me any beignets, or did you just walk up in here empty-handed? You know I'm from
I
Louisiana,
knew you
right?
lived in Shreveport, so you didn't beignet.
I've lived all over the state, sir. I've
You
lived
did?
in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge,
Yeah.
Shreveport. You know I was Miss Louisiana. I traveled the state.
Oh, I done well.
You didn't bring me any beignets? All right. So why don't you get started, Mr. Ellis, and tell me what happened here?
In January, I had a leak in my roof, and I contacted the defendant. He came to my home, and he repaired the roof. I'm not a roofer, so I just took his word for what the damage was done.
And how much did he charge you for doing that?
The first time he came, he charged me $470. And he gave me a warranty of 1 year.
Okay.
And again, this is in 14. In
2014?
2014.
Mm-hmm.
And then in June of 2014, my roof leaked again.
Just
Same
6 months
spot.
later?
6 months later.
Okay, and how did you find him?
I think it was the Yellow Pages. The Yellow Pages.
Y'all still use Yellow
Yeah,
Pages?
I still use Yellow Pages. I'm trying to set my way. Yeah, we still use Yellow Pages.
Okay.
And this time he came out, second time, he charged me $235.
Fix the same spot?
Same spot. My roof.
Well, I thought you had a 1-year warranty.
That's right. Okay, he honored that warranty. The second time he came out, my roof is 28 feet long.
Well, did you live in this home when Hurricane Katrina hit?
Yes, I evacuated. But I had 11 feet of water in the home, yes.
Okay, and so after the hurricane, did you have this roof rebuilt?
I had it rebuilt. I had a 10-year warranty on that roof.
Okay.
It didn't last 10 years.
It did not last 10 years?
That particular spot, no, it did not.
So this one particular spot has been giving you trouble?
One particular spot on my dent, correct.
Okay. What was and what do you do for a living?
Roofing and vinyl siding.
Okay. And so when he called you and he said he had this spot, this leak on his roof, you went over there, what did you observe?
I observed that the incorrect type of roof was placed on that flat roof to begin with.
Was that after the hurricane when it was redone?
After the hurricane, whoever did his roof for him, had put a shingle roof on a flat roof, which is a big no-no. But on the contract here of the January 4th,
May I say that, please?
I had mentioned to Mr. Ellis to begin with that putting a rubberoid torch down roof on there would have been the best ultimate route, but yet he chose the route of going shingles and sealing them down as
the cheaper
well
way,
as
which
I
was
can.
$470, right?
With the woodwork that time, yes, ma'am.
Okay. With the $1,525 rate, he would get the torch down
Correct.
roof, and there was a 3-year warranty with that, with just the shingles that you put down in that one particular spot. It was a 1-year warranty, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that happens in January. What do you say happened after that, sir?
The second time he came out, the roof leaked in the same spot.
Right.
Okay, he gave me a year warranty on that. Same spot. Like I said, my roof is 28 feet long. And then in May, the following year, in 2015, 11 months later, that same spot is leaking again.
A third time.
The third time I called him out. Mr. Burgess tells me, he said, well, we had a windstorm, which we did. That's the cause of the roof leaking the third time.
You didn't believe him?
No, I didn't believe him because this roof is
28 feet long.
If that windstorm and that rainstorm will make that roof leak, the other part of that roof should have leaked too. Why just that one spot he's supposed to repair would leak?
That's the part that you had a patch job on,
That's
though.
what patch job. And I had pictures to show you the patch job.
Coming up, the details of the patch job are called into question.
I bought a piece of the shingles to show you what he did.
And you're upset because this doesn't match.
It doesn't match. My roof doesn't match.
Who's going to see it, sir? Who's going to see it?
And later, a small loan turns into a big deal.
Did you leave him a rude voicemail?
Well, he knows me. I'm a Marine. I don't need to talk nice to you. I ain't dating him.
Plaintiff Charles Ellis says Bob's work was sloppy. He's suing for a refund for services. Defendant Bob Bergen says he owes nothing because the damage was an act of God. He's countersuing for filing a small claims case.
And insult to injury, he goes on my roof, put mismatched shingles on my roof. I have pictures to prove that.
May I see that? Did you do that, sir?
It was a flat roof, ma'am. Not a roof to be seen with a pitch.
Okay.
So since he went...
So it didn't matter what color the shingles were?
Could have been pink and polka dot. As long as
Why
they
did
were
it bother
shingles, that is what the man chose.
Oh, you brought the shingles?
I brought a piece of the shingles to show you what he did.
Okay.
And I also, Judge...
So is this what the roof looked like?
The dark spot is what he put up there the second time. The light color is with the roof.
So this dark...
Is what he put up there, the
okay.
passage with.
And you're upset because this doesn't match?
It doesn't match. My roof doesn't match.
Who's going to see it, sir? Who's going to see it?
My neighbors can see it. I can see it.
They can see up on the roof?
Ma'am,
He wouldn't have put that on his own home and mismatched the roof.
Is there any particular reason why this is the same material, is there any particular reason why because here's a photo of it right here, and
Correct.
the black, this is the shingle that you put on the roof, right?
But I used the gray.
Clearly darker than
I
this
used
one.
the gray, as you can see from the bottom, which did hold through that high wind.
Mr. Ellis, step over here and show me where the patch job is, sir.
This is a patch job here.
Okay.
All this is a patch job. This is the color of the roof. As you can see, it doesn't match. That dark spot, see, the one in your right hand is this right here.
Okay. Why is it showing up gray on the photo?
Well, it's a what do you call it? Millimeter camera I use. I didn't use a regular camera.
Okay.
But as you can see, it doesn't match the roof.
It doesn't match.
It does completely.
But why is it gray on the photo? Do you know?
Because the camera I use.
Had gray shingles.
Okay, so
Those
you
gray
did use
shingles
the
went
gray.
on from the start. And
Hold on a second.
May I stand here at the screen too?
Please do, sir.
This area here was also part of the patch, which, if the bailiff wants to hand this to you, it shows a large area that blew off on the same day, which I have submitted a video to the court, that the winds were so heavy in New Orleans area that it literally blew train cars over.
This was the third time he called you.
That was after Mr. Ellis had called me back.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Okay.
I remember that, May of this year.
I had shared with Mr. Ellis, sir, this is an act of God. This is not me not having nailed your shingles or sealed your shingles correctly.
I mean, what do you say about that? Because that day in New Orleans, there was a very bad storm and the winds were very high, and you can see the train cars falling over the bridge.
I can understand that, Judge. He says it's an act of God. I don't doubt that. But what I'm saying is that if the act of God tore up just the part he repaired, supposedly repaired, what about the other part of my roof? Why it didn't get torn up? That roof is 28 feet long. Why that part didn't get torn up? See what I'm saying?
Here's what I want to know. Let's just start with January 6, 2014. Mr. Ellis, did he do work in January on the roof?
Yeah, he did. In January, he came out. That was the first time he came out, was January the 6th.
Okay.
And I'm having a hard time remembering, too. It seems I did replace some shingles at that time, but I didn't necessarily write it down or charge extra.
Okay, you took care of it, and the shingles were replaced. And in June, he calls you about the shingles because he's having a leak again. Would that be covered under the 1-year warranty?
Yes, it would. However, I did discuss with Mr. Ellis one more time that this is still not the correct roof.
So why are you giving him a warranty? Because isn't the warranty
Basically,
supposed to be if there's a leak, he can call you back?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay.
But I had shared with Mr. Ellis, this is not the correct roof. So at that point in time, that's when I applied that white roofing you see.
And you give him another 1-year warranty.
Yes, I did. But between then,
because isn't that the difference?
That other 1-year warranty and the end of that 1-year warranty, train tracks blew over.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. You're suing about what happened in May of 2015. I actually think that it does fall under the act of God exception to contracts when you have damages. However, I do find that their 1-year warranty should have been recognized and acknowledged by you in June of 2014. He was still under warranty when you came back out in June of 2014, and I think he did have the work done on the roof. And you said so in your testimony that you probably did replace some shingles. I'm going to order you, sir, to honor the 1-year warranty that you gave the plaintiff in January of 2014. So the work that he paid you for, the $235 in June of 2014, I'm going to order you to return that $235. Judgment for the plaintiff, $235. Your counterclaim is dismissed. Good luck to
Thank you, Your
both
Honor.
of you.
Thank you very much. I was very pleased with the face ruling. It's an honest ruling, and it was a fair ruling, and I appreciate the time.
I feel the judge's ruling considered both sides and that more could have been said, but that the matter is resolved now, and I'm glad to have it behind me.
Plaintiff Jonathan Stratus says a defendant was a longtime family friend and asked to borrow money, then avoided him when it came time to pay. He's suing for an unpaid loan and lost wages. Defendant Alex Brillhart says he owes nothing because he only asked to borrow a small amount of money for gas. And Jonathan is rude. He's countersuing for lost wages.
Jonathan Stratos?
Yes, ma'am.
You were suing the defendant Alex Brillhart?
Yes, ma'am.
For $185 for an unpaid loan and lost wages.
Yes, ma'am.
You are countersuing, sir, for $160 for lost wages.
Yes, ma'am.
Start from the beginning, sir. Tell me what happened.
I've known Alex for 14 years. His grandpa's one of my best friends. He works for me off and on. He's 29. He's getting more responsible. In the month of May, he worked for me on 2 jobs, got paid.
What kind of work?
Carpenter work, shingling, painting, blah, blah, blah.
Do you have a company or this is working in
No,
your house?
just friends, a lot of good, you know, my name's good with the community, so a lot of older people, so forth. I'm retired. But he called me, he said, come out $25, I'll pay you Friday. This was on Wednesday.
Back when?
May 13th is when he borrowed it.
All right.
I call him Friday. I say, Alex, what's up? Nothing. The next week I call him. I say, Alex, you're burning bridges here. This is crazy. What's wrong with you? You don't call me. Don't answer. Third week, I said, Alex, I'm not your grandpa. You owe me $25. Another week goes by. I said, listen, Alex, I'm going to take you to court, charge you a day's wage, $25.
Well, had he ever borrowed money from you before?
Not from me before. I always paid him.
Did you borrow $25 from him?
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't pay this $25 back so we can go home, it's time for lunch.
Coming up on Judge Faith, is the reason for refusing to pay right?
The only reason why I didn't call or anything is because he did leave rude voicemails cursing.
What do you mean
and
by
all that.
rude? Does he have to be nice to get his money back? Does he have to say please?
Plaintiff Jonathan Stratus says Alex is irresponsible and needs to learn a lesson. He's suing for an unpaid loan and lost wages. Defendant Alex Brillhart says he owes nothing because Jonathan is rude. He's countersuing for lost wages.
Why haven't you paid it back?
Because he left voicemails, rude voicemails, cursing, screaming, saying, he's gonna sue me, this and that, you're burning bridges.
When did you say,
And
what
I
was the
have-
deal? You asked him for $25, you would pay it back when?
I'll pay him back Friday, the 19th, June 19th.
Did you pay him back on the 19th?
No, I did not.
Okay, why?
Because he left rude voicemails.
On the 19th?
On the 19th, that's when I was supposed to pay him. I was still at work when he was calling
Did you
my
call
house.
him on the 19th?
I call him every week.
Did you leave him a rude voicemail?
Well, he knows me. I'm a Marine. I don't need to talk nice to you. I ain't dating him.
The very first phone call you made to him on the 19th, what did you say?
I said, hey, Alex, why are you doing this? Don't burn this bridge. I got some big jobs coming up. He
But the
never
money was
answered.
due. How do you know he wasn't going to give it to you that day?
It was evening.
Why didn't you call him back on the 19th? He wasn't calling you angry, cursing on the 19th, was he?
Yes, he was.
Let me hear the voicemail messages. Are they on your phone?
They were on my wife's phone.
Why would he call your wife's phone and leave messages on her phone?
Because that's the number he had for me.
So you borrowed $25 from the man and gave him a wrong number.
No, that was my phone. That was my phone, but my wife keeps it. You know.
Why did you need the $25?
For
You
gas?
work.
For gas, I didn't get paid when I was supposed to, and they were paying me the following week. So I borrowed it the Monday, the 15th, and then I was going to pay him back to the 19th.
So the 19th comes, you don't pay him. Do you at least call him and say, hey, I need more time?
The only reason why I didn't call or anything is because he did leave rude voicemails cursing.
What do you mean
and
by
all that.
rude? Does he have to be nice to get his money back? Does he have to say please?
Well, he didn't have to call me while I was at work still. I didn't even get off work to even get
But you
money
had the
out of
money,
bank.
you had the $25 on the 19th. And then you file you paid $38 to file a case for $25. So you know
He did.
right. But you know at this point he's not letting this go.
No.
I called his grandpa, everybody. They said, I don't know what to do with him.
He filed 2 weeks later.
Well, the money was due on the 19th. Technically, he has a case.
Yep.
It's the principle, Your Honor.
And so you feel like,
almost
according
7
to your
days.
testimony, you have spent 8 hours at $20 an hour trying to get your $25 loan back. So you want him to pay you an additional
I don't even-
$160?
Your Honor, I don't even care if he pays me. It's the principle. Yeah, he's worked for me. I've known him since he was 14.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
So when you got the lawsuit and you realize he really is suing me,
Yeah.
you don't think at that point, let me go over here and pay this $25 that I know I owe?
Well, I was going to court anyways for it, so I didn't pay him regardless.
So you're going to wait until the
that.
judge orders you to pay it?
Yeah, because I had to go to court for it. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm the judge and I'm ordering you to pay it. Now, what I'm interested in is, why are you suing for lost wages? How are you out of work and money here?
I'm losing money by not being at work, being here,
Why is that?
because I owe him $25.
That's right, because you owe him $25. Had you paid the $25, you wouldn't be here today. All right. Your counterclaim is dismissed, sir. Judgment in this case, I'm ordering you to pay back the $25 you owe the plaintiff. Judgment for the plaintiff, $25.
He's my buddy's grandson. I can't leave him out in the cold, but I won't loan him no more money.
Yeah, he comes over, visits my grandparents. They'll probably eat. My grandparents go to his house, you know, and then I'll probably see him, interact with them, talk with them, joke, laugh about everything, and life will be going on, really.
Today on Judge Faith, a real estate agent is demanding his broker pay him for the houses he sold.
He's rude, he's haughty, he's disrespectful. I can't believe any idiot would not sign their agreement to get paid.
Well, in 2011, obviously, I sold the 2 properties. After he got the fund from the bank, I asked him for the money.
So that's a very self-serving agreement you have in place for your independent contractor, sir.
And later, a landlord and her former tenant reveal the dirty details of their rent dispute.
How she would harass me. One incident were Post-it notes all over my car and all over the front door saying, when are you going to pay me, the rent's due.
I have never, ever done that. You know, we are in court and you raised your hand and we said that we're going to say the truth.
That's just a strange thing that someone would make up. Do you have Post-it notes at home right now?
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Jonas Tesfaye says the defendant is refusing to pay him commission after selling 2 homes. He's suing for real estate commissions. Defendant Peter Eastman says he owes nothing because Jonas refused to sign an employment agreement stating what employees get paid. He's countersuing for past fees.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Tesfaye versus Eastman.
Thank you, Juan. Jonas Tesfaye?
Yes, correct.
You were suing the defendant Peter Eastman
Correct.
for $3,655 for the cost of real estate commissions.
Correct.
You say he owes you?
Yes.
And you were countersuing, sir, for $200 for past fees?
Correct.
Mr. Tesfaye, I'd like to start with you. Why don't we start from the beginning and you tell me what happened?
Sure, Your Honor. Thank you. Well, actually, I was introduced by a friend that worked for Mr. Eastman, And I joined in 2007 through 2008, and then also in 2009 through 2010 for about 4 or 5 months. And also, I finally joined the last time in 2011.
So let me understand this. You have a full-time job.
Correct.
Right, during this time period, and it's that sometimes you also sell real estate on the side.
Correct.
So that's why you would only go and work for his company for a few months at a time?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
sir, let me ask you, how long have you had this company?
23 years.
23 years, and so you have a number of independent contractors who come in and work for you and sell real estate?
I probably had over 100.
So what happens in 2011?
Well, in 2011, obviously, I sold the 2 properties, and I asked him for, obviously, after he got the fund from the bank, I asked him for the money.
What was the agreement in terms of commission?
Well, we had contracts that he lined out, which...
Did the two of you sign a contract?
Well, yes, we did. I had one signed up in 2007.
Was there a valid contract in place that both of you signed in 2011 in terms of what you were receiving for commission?
Well, because nothing changed, when I went back to him in 2011, he said there was no need for me to sign an independent contract because it was already on file.
Is that true?
No, Your Honor.
Tell me what you say happened.
Well, on December 30th, he called me up on the phone and he says, I want to hang my license with you
Of what
again.
year?
2010. And I say, fine, and we did it through telephone and by the internet, because you can do that now. And when we finished, I said, well, come on in and sign your independent contractor agreement. And he said, okay, I'll come on in. He never came in.
But you knew he was working, correct?
Well, I did not know how hard he was working.
Well, I don't think he was working hard enough to sell 2 houses.
Okay,
he sold 2 houses, right?
Here's the thing. When somebody wants to get paid, they sign their contract. And I cannot believe that anybody is so crazy as not to sign their employment agreement.
So you think he didn't want to get paid for selling 2 houses?
Well, obviously he didn't, because you need to sign your contract. And if someone leaves my company for 1 day and comes back, they sign a new independent contractor agreement.
And so, but if someone leaves your company for 1 day and comes back, you then tell them you can't work for me unless you sign a contract, right?
Yeah, and I told him to come in and do it.
Apparently not.
And he didn't
because you knew he was working for you, and you said you didn't know how hard he was working.
That's exactly
That's not
right.
the issue. The issue is he was working for you and you knew it, despite him not signing a contract.
And once he put the 2 properties in escrow.
So don't you think that's a convenient defense for you? You get to keep the money, but he doesn't, right?
That's not my defense.
You made money off of the 2 homes that he sold, right?
That's correct.
So you got paid.
Correct.
There's no contract, but he didn't?
Correct.
Because this is what you're saying to me now. He can work for me without signing a contract, but he doesn't get paid if he actually sells a house. You understand?
I totally understand.
Okay. So that's a very self-serving agreement you have in place for your independent contractors, sir.
No.
Oh, yes.
I credit him.
So that's the reason you didn't pay him for selling those 2 homes?
That is not correct. I credit every dollar that was earned in commission to his account. Every single dollar.
Does he have access to that account?
Yeah, anytime he wants it, at any time. He can call me, I will PDF it to him. He can come in, I will show it to him.
Does he have direct access to this account without going through you?
No.
So it's not really an account that he can actually get the money from. You know what I'm talking about? Because he wants to get paid, that's why we're here. Then why haven't you paid him since you put the money in his account?
Now for the rest of the story. He's rude, he's haughty, he's disrespectful. He starts ordering me around like I'm one of his minions, and I was mad. And I get real mad.
Coming up, the excuses for withholding the commission escalate.
You made money, he didn't. Why haven't you paid him for the homes he sold in 2011?
Because he owed Tara Realty so much money.
That's the 4th reason you've given me.
And later, a rent dispute causes these ladies to come to court.
April, she was short $35. May, she was short. June, she was short.
The gardener was not coming and doing his job.
Were the 2 of you not getting along by the end of this lease?
Plaintiff Jonas Tesfaye says Peter is refusing to pay him. He's suing for real estate commissions. Defendant Peter Eastman says he owes nothing because Jonas refused to sign an employment agreement. He's countersuing for past fees.
What happened, sir?
I learned that when he signed up with Tara Realty in 2010, I think it was, he let his license expire 27 days later. And I didn't know it, and he didn't tell me.
But he didn't sell any property in 2010. Did he have a valid real estate license in 2011, sir?
Yes, he did.
Can you show me proof that you had a valid real estate license in 2011?
Absolutely.
Because those are the two commissions that are in question. You, sir, have submitted evidence of the commissions you say you are owed from the two homes you sold in 2011. The first home, $1,775, and the second home, $1,880. The defendant is not disputing those amounts. He's disputing that you're owed this money in totality.
Correct.
Because it seems to me you're working awfully hard to trying to find a way for him not to get paid for his commission in 2011. It's one thing after another. In 2011, he had a valid real estate license to sell real estate, sir. Why haven't you paid him for the two homes he sold for you in 2011 that you made money on? He had a valid real estate license to sell those homes. You made money, he didn't. Why haven't you paid him for the homes he sold in 2011?
Because he owed Tara Realty so much money.
That's the fourth reason you've given me. I've asked you several times, why haven't you paid him? The first time, there was no contract. The second time, he was rude to you. Now he didn't have a valid real estate license prior to, it lapsed at some point in 2010, which is not relevant. Now he owes your company money. You do understand, sir, that this is 2015. Slavery days are over. People don't work for free. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff, $3,770. Your counterclaim is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. I'm glad that Judge Faith, she was able to see how liar and he was trying to deceive and keep all of the money that I was owed.
If you're cruel to me, we have a problem. If you're cruel to me and you work for me, you have a problem. And that's just the way it is in real life, you know. And I was mad. Was I looking for a way to get even with him? I sure was. I wanted to hurt him real bad. And I have hurt him. I've hurt him over the last several years. And he will remember me to the day he dies, and it won't be a fond memory. And I like that.
Plaintiff Maybelline Gallegos says the defendant was full of excuses every month when it came time to pay the rent. She's suing for unpaid rent and damages to her rental property. Defendant Monica Gomez says she doesn't owe because she paid her rent, and Maybelline is harassing her.
Maybelline Gallegos, you are suing the defendant, Monica Gomez.
Yes.
For $3,852. You say she owes you for unpaid rent, damages to your property, and cleaning fees?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so why don't we start from the beginning and you tell me what's going on here?
Well, I had one of my tenants, and she said, I have a cousin that is looking for a place. And I said, well, you know what, just send her over and we could do the application. So Monica came and she did the application. And
when was this?
January 2014.
Okay, and did the two of you enter into a lease agreement?
Yes, we did.
Okay, may I see it, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it a one-year lease, ma'am?
It was, yes.
And who did you move into the home with?
With my two boys and my grandson. And then my brother was going to move in there as well.
Okay, and when did you move out of the home?
It was in January.
January of 2015?
Yes.
So you only stayed 1 year?
1 year.
Okay, and you paid a security deposit?
Yes.
$1,350, that's
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Okay, how much was the rent?
The rent was $1,385.
So what do you say happened?
Well, I went ahead and I rented to her. She made her deposit. That was February. In March, she was short $35. That was March. April, she was short $35. May, she was short. June, she was short.
Short on her rent?
Yes. She was
Okay,
paying me
so-
$1,350 instead of $1,385.
Is there any particular reason why you were?
Well, $35 was supposed to be for gardening.
Okay.
And the gardener was not coming and doing his job. He wasn't doing any of the work, so.
And so you just kept $35?
I just stopped doing the $35
Did
for
you
the
tell
gardening.
her that?
No, the rent, to my assumption, was $1,350, and then she wanted to add $35 for gardening
No, it
later.
says here on your lease. What do you mean your assumption? The lease says $1,385.
$1,385, yes.
So
but
why are you assuming the rent is
there-
$1,350?
Well, $35 was just for gardening
That's
itself.
not what it says.
I understand that, Your Honor.
No, you didn't understand it. Because you're taking out $35 for gardening, but that's not what the lease doesn't say. The rent is $1,350, and then you pay additional $35 a month for gardening.
I was paying the $35.
You don't have authorization to adjust the rent on your own, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Were the two of you not getting along by the end of this lease? Why?
I told her I get paid once a month, which is the 10th of every month. She said, okay, that's fine, it's even in the contract. But she would text me from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all the way up till I got paid, put the money in her deposit, into her bank. When are you gonna pay me? I need my money, I need it for my bills. This can't be happening, you need to hurry up and pay me. Like, she would call me 10 times a day at work and I couldn't answer my phone.
Your lease states that the rent is actually due on the 1st of the month.
Your Honor, I have right here, this is the original one that she gave me, and it's highlighted the 10th.
It actually says the rent is payable and due on the 1st. In parentheses, there's or 10th day of each calendar month and is delinquent on the next day. So who wrote in the 10th? You?
Maybe I did, but I do remember that she did tell me that.
Okay, it's there. Take a look at it and tell me what that means.
Or
just tell me why did you write the 10th? I just want to know, have an interpretation of that.
Because she had told me that she gets paid on the 10th, and I was okay with it. You know, no.
So it was okay for her to pay on the 10th?
It was okay for her to pay me on the 10th.
Okay, so.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the disagreement over the unpaid rent gets personal.
And when I got back, there was Post-it notes all over my car and all over the front door saying, individually notes, when are you gonna pay me the rent's due?
No.
Plaintiff Maybelline Gallegos says Monica routinely shorted her on the rent. She's suing for unpaid rent and damages to her rental property. Defendant Monica Gomez says she doesn't know because she paid her rent.
Can I just add one more thing? There was one incident where I went to dinner with a friend and I had my car parked there and another car parked there. And when I got back, there was Post-it notes all over my car and all over the front door saying, individually notes, when are you gonna pay me the rent's due? And this was barely on the 4th. All over.
No.
Yes, my neighbor was watering his lawn and looking at me like, what are these Post-it notes? I was embarrassed.
There were Post-it notes on your car?
Yes.
Approximately how many?
About 5 on my car, 4 on the other car, my visitor's car, and then like 6 on the door.
Is that true?
No, Your Honor, that's not true. That's not me. That's not me.
Yes.
Did you put a single Post-it note on her car?
I did not.
That never happened?
I have never done that. I have never, ever done that.
Have you ever used Post-it notes to write her notes about the rent?
No, ma'am, never.
Yeah, that's just a strange thing that someone would make up, that someone's writing Post-it notes and putting it on their car.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's an odd fact for her to come up with for court?
You know, we are in
the truth.
court, and you raised your hand, and we said that we're going to say the truth.
Yep, I did. 100% truth.
Do you have Post-it notes at home right now?
No.
Tell me about the damages.
Well, Your Honor, so she left holes all over the walls.
That's a lie.
The stove was filthy dirty. The microwave was filthy dirty. The bathrooms were disgusting. I mean, it was just grunge of film of everything that was
What damages do you say she caused besides leaving the place dirty?
The carpet, I had to go ahead and change it. I try not to change it because it was going to be too much money for me to come up with. I had the house professionally shampooed.
Show me proof of what you say you spent right after she moved out trying to get the house back in shape. Do you have photos of what the house looked like before she moved in?
I sent her all the photos. Did you brought them with you?
Ma'am, this is your case. This is your case.
You never sent me
photos. Yes.
Do you have photos of what the house looked like before she moved in?
I don't have them. I don't have any because my husband's, our son was playing with the computer.
Do you have photos of what the house looked like after she moved out?
No, I don't. Because
you don't have any photos to show me that the damages actually occurred. You've already kept her security deposit, which is set $1,350.
Yeah, but she did not pay for the month of
Did you
August.
give her? Did you give her a letter? Did you send her a letter stating what her damages were? May I see it?
I had to send it to my own property, and then they forwarded it to her.
She knows where my family members live. If she had wanted to give me something, she could have handed it.
Did you ever ask for your security deposit back, or you knew you owed money?
I texted her before I was leaving because I had to show the property 30 days before I left. She would bring people in to look at the house. If the house was so dirty, why would you bring people in, potential renters, to houses?
What do you have for after you moved out? Did you ever ask her for your security deposit back?
I texted her and she said it could take up to 45 days before I give you anything back.
That's not true.
Do you have proof that you paid someone $1,200 to paint and patch holes throughout the house?
Yes, ma'am. Here are all my receipts. And I try to avoid not to change the carpet, but the guy that moved in, he said he could not stand that smell. So I had to change the carpet in May.
I need to see, you know, I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to accept it because it's your burden to prove your case of damages, and the fact that you came in here with no photos for me to look at, not a single photo for me to look at damages you say she caused to the home. No, put your hand down, because today is the day. Today is the day, and I'm not going to do it.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
In order for me to make an assessment as to the damages, I want to see some proof that you have to show me of how she left the home, and you don't have a single photo that you're presenting to me in court. Your evidence is insufficient when it comes to damages.
Can I explain
Here's what we're going to
why?
do. You owe for rent that you didn't pay. There's not a single deposit on this entire bank statement that you ever once paid $13 to $85 in the year that you lived there. I think you're shaking your head because you know I'm right.
You are.
I'm right?
I agree with you. I mean, it's just...
So you just made me go through that entire thing in the beginning of this case for nothing.
No. Your Honor, I understand what you're saying. I paid that extra of $35 up to the last 4 months, but I have no proof.
Here's what you owe. I'm actually going to credit, based on her bank statements, what she has proof of. You still owe $2,315 in unpaid rent. I'm dismissing your claim for damages because you didn't bring the proof that you needed in court today. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $2,315.
Next time I make sure that I really check their credit. I won't go by any referrals by friends or families.
She doesn't care about her tenants. She's, in my eyes, a slumlord, and she doesn't take care of her properties.